Delhi's former Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia was granted bail today by the Supreme Court. The court came down heavily on the investigating agency, the Enforcement Directorate, saying that the appellant has been deprived of his right to speedy trial and that having a time-bound trial and the right to life and liberty are sacrosanct. The BJP says that Sisodia has only been given bail and that by no means is this a clean chit or any acquittal of any form. The question is, have the cases against opposition leaders, Manish Sisodia being one of them, have they been politically weaponized by the BJP and as a consequence by the agencies that report into the central government? Or are the opposition parties finding convenient grounds to escape scrutiny from their own alleged corruption? But first, the story of the day so far, as the Delhi former Deputy Chief Minister was granted bail by no less than the highest court of the land.
एक झूठे केस में फंसाकर जेल में रखा गया। उस शिक्षा क्रांति के जनक की आज बेल हुई, आज सच्चाई की जीत हुई।
It is a landmark judgment by the Supreme Court.
The principle is, why was he kept behind bars for 17 months? Who's stopping you from investigating anyone? If there is a charge against anyone of corruption, please go ahead and investigate them.
हमें उम्मीद है कि सबको न्याय मिलेगा और खासकर आप पार्टी के जितने नेता जेल में हैं, अरविंद केजरीवाल, उन्हें भी न्याय मिलेगा।
I think that's not right. The law does not insist on jail, but till the arguments are over and the judgment is given, I think everybody has a right to get.
इसका अर्थ ये नहीं है कि सिसोदिया जी अपराध मुक्त हैं। वो अभी भी अभियुक्त हैं और उनकी जवाबदेही कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ में बनेगी।
It is a significant ruling by the Supreme Court of India, and it has key aspects whose ramifications go well beyond this particular case. So let's run you through it. Number one, the Supreme Court has said that the appellant, in this case Mr. Sisodia, has been deprived of his right to a speedy trial. It also went on to say that the right to a speedy trial and the right to liberty are sacrosanct. Remember, a right to life and liberty are part of fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution of India. The court also perused the matter that's been produced before it by the Enforcement Directorate and said there were as many as 493 witnesses, thousands of pages of documents, all of which make the completion or even the beginning of the trial in the near future improbable. The court also said that prolonged incarceration without any trial violates Article 21, which is the right to life and liberty. It went on to say that it's high time that the trial court and the High Court recognize that bail is the rule and jail is the exception. Now remember, in all cases, in almost all sections of the Indian Penal Code, now the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, this is the dictum, that bail is the norm and jail is the exception, except in Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Today's judgment by the Supreme Court lays down that same principle for other cases in PMLA as well. It also says that Sisodia poses no flight risk. That's one of the conditions that has to be met for granting bail because of his deep roots in society. Also, the court has said that much of the evidence is documented already, which means that the chances of tampering with evidence, which is a second condition, tampering of evidence, influence of witnesses, these are two conditions that need to be met for granting bail, even in normal charges, more so in PMLA. And the court has concluded that tampering of evidence is also not possible because much of the evidence has already been filed in court. Let me now go across, open this up to our panelists. Mr. R.P. Singh, National Spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Siddharth Sharma is Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. Satya Mole is an advocate, and Rashid Kidwai, Senior Journalist, joining us. R.P. Singh, the court has been pretty heavy in its criticism of the Enforcement Directorate, saying that the appellant has been deprived of his right to speedy trial. The right to speedy trial and right to liberty and life are sacrosanct rights. Please respond. Isn't this an absolute admonition of the investigating agency and the manner in which it has tried to build up a case against Mr. Sisodia? The court is basically saying, please grant him bail. You waited 17 months. What are you waiting for to start trial?
Well, all granted to Manish Sisodia, but the same court gave such observations just a few months back. It said that 338 crore money trail is there as part of the observation of the court, and they were satisfied with the money trail of the about the Mr. Sisodia, and they denied him the bail that time, and they told the ED to ensure that the trial starts within 6 months, but because of the Mr. Sisodia's planning that he keeps moving to one court to other court for getting bail and challenging the jail itself, and the ED was more busy with that than starting the trial. And also, I've been reading that this is that Satya ki jeet hai. We have been reading this since morning. Satya ki jeet hai. I mean, man has been given bail on ground of one personal bond, 2 sureties worth 30 lakh rupees. Monday, Thursday, he has to be present in the jail, in the police station every Monday and Thursday in the police station. So 30 lakh surety, Monday, Thursday in the police station. His passport has been impounded, or probably has been that he can't travel out of the country, and also that he can't keep his phone off. He has to keep his location on so that he can be tracked anywhere whenever the police want to track him.
Okay.
So to whom all such conditions are applied, please, you should know it better than me. Is it applied for a person who is not guilty, or person whom court thinks is being rightly accused of such a certain illegalities?
No, the matter of bail does not pronounce any kind of order on guilty or not guilty. That will be established through the course of a trial. But let me ask Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party. I'm going to list out what various courts of law, trial court, high court, Supreme Court have said about Mr. Sisodia's case. And so please respond in the context of what the Supreme Court has said today. In March 2023, the trial court denied Mr. Sisodia bail by saying that he's the prima facie, he's the architect of the criminal conspiracy behind the Liquorgate scam. In May of 2023, the Delhi High Court rejected his bail, saying that the charges against Mr. Sisodia are very serious in nature and that the policy was formed for undue advantage for certain individuals whose influence was there on the then Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. In October of 2023, the Supreme Court denied him bail. The same court which has given him bail today in 2023 October denied Mr. Sisodia bail and said that money trail of 338 crore has been tentatively established. The BJP's contention, and any lawyer who you speak to, Mr. Sharma, will say Mr. Sisodia has just got bail on a technicality, which is that trial has not started. It doesn't by any stretch of the imagination mean that he's getting a clean sheet.
Absolutely. You are right. Mr. Manish Sisodia today is in the same position as Mr. BJP stalwart leader, Mr. Yediyurappa, the former Chief Minister of Karnataka is. He is also POCSO accused, and he is also on bail. So since if BJP is saying that he will be pronounced guilty in the future, the same would apply to Manish Sisodia. If the BJP is saying that let the law take its own course, the same will happen to Manish Sisodia. So today is not the day, Zaka, to be very smug or confrontational. Today is a day for humility for us. First of all, right at the outset, let me tell you that we congratulate lakhs of students of Delhi. They were getting good education till now. Henceforth, they will only get great education. And today what the Supreme Court has essentially done is that it has given an unpopular opinion to the BJP ecosystem. Do not wield power as a weapon. That's what the Supreme Court has said. The Supreme Court has essentially today educated Modi Sarkar with a reality check. Use power as a tool to serve people, not to punish opponents. Learn from Aam Aadmi Party. Put kids into school, not people in jail. Build schools. Don't build a conspiracy. I think, and coming to the part, one big education that I think when Manish ji was released today, he thanked Baba Saheb Ambedkar for that. He thanked my every. He literally said in Hindi कि मेरा रोम रोम बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर को धन्यवाद देता है. Please understand the import of it. What he was saying is that the BJP ecosystem feels that what Mr. Modi brings in is a law. Today, the court has said that Modi bringing a law is not important. There can be a law which is unconstitutional. So the
Mr. Sharma, just
constitution.
one second. One second. I'm sorry to interrupt. This is pictures. We're getting live pictures on the right-hand side of your screen. Mr. Sisodia meeting Sunita Kejriwal, the wife of the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. His son, I believe, is also there. Mr. Sanjay Singh, you can see him in the background. Saurabh Bharadwaj is there. So this is just him meeting all the individuals associated with the Aam Aadmi Party and, of course, the family of the Chief Minister as well. Mr. Durgesh Pathak is there as well. But anyway, even as these pictures play out, Mr. Sharma, I want to ask you, what do you have to say to what various courts, including what the Supreme Court said? I said this a moment ago, that money trail of 338 crore has been tentatively established. In May of this year, as recently as May of this year, Delhi Rose Avenue Court said that frivolous submissions from Mr. Sisodia are a concerted delaying tactic. In May 2024, the same month, the Delhi High Court said that the case highlights grave misuse of power and breach of public interest. Mr. Sisodia was the excise minister when the excise policy of Delhi was changed and it favored a certain number of individuals. What has to be proven in a court of law is that for that change of policy, were kickbacks given either to Mr. Sisodia or to your party?
Strangely, Zaka, all the arguments that you forwarded today, just now in your program, all these arguments were exactly the same arguments were forwarded by the ED lawyer in the court. And the court took cognizance of all of this and said that Mr. Modi's law, if it is wrong, it does not supersede the Constitution of India made by Mr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Baba Saheb Ambedkar's constitution gets primacy over Mr. Modi's
Mr.
law.
Sharma, please refrain from the rhetorical part. I mean, answer the question. The merits of the case, I have outlined. No, you are not countering the merits of the case. Mr. Sisodia has been granted bail as a matter of the violation of one of his sacrosanct rights, which is right to life and liberty, and that a trial cannot take 17 months to start. That's the reason he's been given bail, not because the charges against him have been dropped.
No, absolutely not. The charges against Mr. Yediyurappa also stand for molestation of a woman, but Mr. Yediyurappa is not guilty. Exactly that way, Mr. Manish Sisodia can have all the cooked up charges against him and he will face a court of law.
Okay.
And all the arguments today that you put in your program right now, that there was delay in trial due to Manish Sisodia, there is enough indication. All these things strangely were put by the ED lawyer also, and the Supreme Court, after hearing it, said that Mr. Manish Sisodia is eligible for bail.
Okay, so let me ask Mr. Satya Mole as an advocate of the court of law. The court also came to the conclusion to give him bail because of a couple of reasons. One, that almost 500 witnesses have been examined, their statements have been recorded. Over 1,000 documents have already been produced and are part of the court records, part of these case records, and therefore the question of tampering with evidence does not arise. As far as influencing witnesses is concerned, again, the court has observed in its order that much of these witness statements have already been recorded, many of them under 164 CRPC. The court has come to the conclusion to give him bail because prolonged incarceration without trial violates Article 21, which is right to life and liberty. The court has also said that it's high time, whether it is trial courts or high courts, recognize the dictum that bail is the rule and jail is the exception. It is basically underlining what has always been a traditional position in criminal jurisprudence. You do not have to criminally arrest someone unless there are exceptional circumstances.
Yes, of course. In this particular case, it has been in fact established that there are exceptional circumstances, and therefore only the High Court as well as Supreme Court, including the trial court, has denied bail to Manish Sisodia on various counts when the bail was sought on merits. Today, only after passage of 17 months, just because there has been a huge amount of time consumed by the prosecution agencies. There was one loophole that was identified by the lawyers that infringed the rights of life and liberty under Article 21. The Supreme Court obliged by granting him this particular bail. By no means this is a clean sheet. In fact, this is only a small loophole that was exploited successfully. And what we can say at this point of time is that only one small battle has been won, but the war is still on.
But Mr.
There
Mole,
is
if the
by
ED
no-
had a
Yes.
watertight, almost open and shut case, what are they waiting for? It's been a year and a half. Why aren't they pressing
What-
the court to
yes.
begin trial?
What happens is there are more than 400 of witnesses. In fact, not all the witnesses have been concluded. There are more than 8 lakhs of pages which are crucial to be examined. And having said this, once this is concluded, then only the trial can start. Apart from saying this, that half-cooked trial or a charge sheet cannot lead to a successful trial, which is also a mockery of justice. Therefore, what we can definitely say is that ED and CBI did their part by filing a charge sheet, and apart from that, they also filed 4 supplementary charge sheets. So it can definitely mean that there is much more to what has been concluded
Rashid,
till now.
what is going to be the political fallout of this release of Mr. Sisodia? Basically, the court has said the ED has no reason, has not given any convincing reason for why the trial has not begun after 17 months. I want to know the political fallout because A, Mr. Sisodia was the excise minister. So if the contention of the ED and the case against Mr. Sisodia is that he as excise minister changed the excise policy of Delhi in order to favor certain private players, and for that change of excise policy, him and his party got kickbacks in return, then if Mr. Sisodia has been granted bail, A, what bearing will that have on Arvind Kejriwal, who is still incarcerated? 2, if Mr. Sisodia and Mr. Kejriwal are out on bail, and by no means is this taking away the Damocles sword of the cases against them, or is this by any means any kind of clean sheet to either of them. But if they are released, as Mr. Sisodia was released today, if at some point Mr. Kejriwal is released, before the elections in Delhi next year, which is January, February of next year, how may that politically affect the fortunes of both the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi?
Yeah, Suzaka, you have raised a very pertinent issue. On the political turf, the BJP will have to do a lot of explaining that why this a particular leader from Delhi was kept in jail for so long, and yet that trial could not begin. The process cannot be the punishment. It is not in favor of Mr. Sisodia, but it applies to everybody. It's a very flimsy excuse to say that, because the ED itself had gone and told court several times that they will have, they'll start this trial in 6 to 8 months' time. So 17 months have passed. 17 months is a very long time. And if as the Supreme Court has rightly observed, Mr. Sisodia has roots in society. He's an elected representative. So there is no point in keeping him in jail. He is merely an accused. He is not a convict, that person who should be kept in jail. On a political turf, if you see the reactions today, all opposition parties have got together and they're supporting. So it will have a political implication. In public mind, public is very, they can make a distinction between what is politically motivated and what is not. The
Okay.
ED's track record, unfortunately, is quite pathetic when it comes to, rate of conviction, because it's 4%, 2%, 1%. Other day, court observed that the 5,000 cases, the ED is only able to, convict only 50% of people, only 50%. So this is too,
Okay.
staggering a figure. So therefore, I think the BJP may pay a political price. What they're trying to, you see, it's a legal battle, but they're trying to use it for their political gains, and it's not happening.
So let's ask RP Singh that. Isn't that the BJP's biggest fear, that if Mr. Sisodia is out, and if he is allegedly the principal player, because he was after all the excise minister of Delhi, or at least in charge of the excise department of Delhi, and Arvind Kejriwal did not sign off on any files, he was of course the chief minister. If this becomes a basis for Mr. Kejriwal's lawyers to ask for his bail, if both of them are out before next year's assembly elections, how is the BJP going to politically counter it? Because bail or no bail, acquittal or no acquittal, they are going to go to the people and say, देखो, court ने हमें छोड़ दी.
Well, हिंदी में कहावत है, काट की हांडी एक बार चढ़ती, दो बार चढ़ती, तीन बार नहीं चढ़ती. Right now, my friend from the Aam Aadmi Party was trying to talk about the schools. Let me share with you, 8th April this year itself, the Manmohan Sajeva, probably from right level, Justice Manmohan, Chief Justice, let me take his name right. Acting Chief Justice Manmohan, can I please never interrupt? Sir, मैंने interrupt नहीं किया आपको sir, please. Acting Chief Justice Manmohan, sir, please, sir, I apologize for that. Acting Chief Justice Manmohan said that there is serious shortage of classrooms, lack of books and writing material, broken desk, and the person was appointed by the court to go and inspect the schools. He said, there are more than 144 children in one classroom. It's a sad state of affair. And then court further said, you are not supposed to publish announcements of newspapers that schools are hunky-dory. So this is the state of the affair of the schools as per the court, not me saying so, sir. It is the Acting Chief Justice.
Okay, but RP Singh, please answer my question. Let's talk about the politics of the release of Mr. Sisodia and possibly in the next few months before the next assembly election, the release of Mr. Kejriwal. Then what will you do politically?
So people have Delhi have already tasted the truth and seen what is the reality on the ground. That was what I was trying to tell you, that schools are in shambles, mohalla clinics are in trouble, the Delhi overall infrastructure is collapsing. You have done stories recently how just little rainfall, there's a drainage problem and deluge problem in Delhi. There is a water shortage when there is summers. The coming months we will talk about the pollution in city. So people of Delhi knows what is the truth. Whatever story they want to build up, the story is not going to help, because they know that there's a liquor scam. One bottle was served with another bottle. Liquor vents were open outside the schools and the gurdwaras and mandirs. So people of Delhi very well understand what is the real issue, and the crux of the complete scenario in city is that people are fed up of this,
that is a fair point.
gang
Siddharth
who has
Sharma,
looted
at the
city.
end of the day, I don't think whether Mr. Kejriwal is in jail or Mr. Sisodia is out is going to decide the Delhi elections. It's going to be decided on whether people of Delhi feel their quality of life has improved in the last 10 years. You've been in power from 2015. Point is, we have seen in old Rajendra Nagar, and Mr. RP Singh hails from Rajendra Nagar, just one bout of rain and water gets flooded into a basement and 3 kids die. And you control the MCD, you control the state government, MLA is yours, MLC is yours. But you're throwing your hands up in the air. For every little thing that happens in Delhi, from traffic jam to cleaning up drains, you just blame the LG, as though people of Delhi did not vote you to power. People of Delhi did not vote the LG to power, they voted the Aam Aadmi Party to power. So that is what is going to decide Delhi's elections, not whether Mr. Sisodia has got a bail or whether Mr. Kejriwal has got a bail.
Yeah, very nice. Zaka, good that you guys have come to my pitch to play. You are speaking about education here. Then this is BJP's Gujarat model of education, a party which doesn't assign even 2% of its budget to education. It says that 25% of the Delhi budget is on education. A party like BJP, which cannot have a decent NEET exam, it is speaking about education. So people know that. You ask any person in Delhi, that was a sad part. There are certain accidents that happen, and Rajendra Nagar was an accident. We know across India there have been rains, and from Uttarakhand to Wayanad, the rains have played spoil sport with people's lives, and that it is an unfortunate part. And we are responsible we take moral responsibility, practical responsibility for all the things in Delhi. Hangs with BJP because it has all the powers as per itself.
No, if the practical responsibility is with the BJP, then the votes should also go to the BJP, no? People of Delhi have given you 60 or 62 MLAs. So how can practical responsibility be with the BJP? Number one. Number two, you are calling it an accident. I'm saying it's culpable homicide, because if the drains outside that Rao study circle were cleared and it was the job of the MCD to clear those drains, those kids would be alive today. It's not accident, it's negligence. It is death by negligence.
Exactly. I think, Zaka, what you are saying is that demonetization, because of demonetization, all the deaths that happened, is also culpable homicide on
अरे
the part
सर
of BJP's
क्या
Pradhan ji.
मतलब क्या
700
क्या तर्क
farmers
रख रहे हैं
dying is
आप?
also because of BJP bringing in a law, and that is also culpable
What sort
homicide.
of what
Very
sort
nice,
of
very
bizarre
nice.
comparison
That
is
is a big mea
this?
culpa coming from Jaka Jacob.
No, no.
Very nice.
What is this bizarre comparison? क्या whose responsibility was it to clean the stormwater drain?
The responsibility of cleaning the stormwater drain was with the executive falling under the BJP's LG.
How does the
And that is-
executive fall under the BJP's LG?
According to
The
BJP,
drain water, the
law
stormwater
in
drain
August
cleaning
2022
is the responsibility of the
in
MCD.
Parliament of India, the entire
Mr.
executive
Sharma,
authority falls under BJP.
I am really
Not
sorry.
according to me,
It is a
according to
pathetic
BJP.
defense
If
when you're
BJP
saying
says that it rules
when you're
fairly,
saying that an engineer is responsible for cleaning the MCD. Engineer को थोड़ी ना वोट दिया है लोगों ने वहां पे. आरपी सिंह, क्या एग्जीक्यूटिव इंजीनियर, असिस्टेंट इंजीनियर, चीफ इंजीनियर को वोट दिया है राजेंद्र नगर के लोगों ने? किसको वोट दिया है?
This is the mayor of the city on 18th June, going tom-tom in the city, saying that 92% of the city drains have been cleaned. She was thanking
No, Mr.
the
Sharma, one second.
MCD
Mr. Sharma, one second.
saying
One
that we
second.
have cleaned.
Your leader has been released on bail, no doubt about it. Supreme Court has made some very harsh observations, and I put those questions to Mr. R.P. Singh. The BJP definitely needs to answer those questions that have been raised by the Supreme Court. My point is, I want to take this forward because in 7 months or 8 months, Delhi is going to go to polls, and people of Delhi are going to rightfully ask the question, which is going to be the question that's going to underline their vote, their voting preference. How has their life improved in the last 10 years? Has it improved? Because if a majority feel it has improved, you will come back to power. If a majority feel it has not, that Delhi today is a ramshackle city. People are saying that Sheila Dikshit was better than this.
Can I answer it?
Yes.
10 seconds. I think the viewers of CNN are very intelligent enough. They can just go on Google and search the per capita income of a Delhiite today is better than India's. All the states, especially BJP.
Sir,
it is
roads were better, metro was running better, public infrastructure was running better. Nobody died of drowning. Nobody died of drowning before 2015. No UPSC aspirant died because stormwater drains outside his IAS coaching center was not cleaned by the MCD. Nobody died because of drowning. क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप? Mr. Mule, but forget about the politics. Politics तो चलता रहेगा between AAP and BJP. I want to deal with the legal merits and demerits. Today's order very, very clearly says 3 things. Number 1, that prolonged incarceration without trial is a violation of Article 21, which is right to life and liberty. It also says that Mr. Sisodia is not a flight risk because of his deep roots in society. No question of tampering with evidence because much of the evidence is already documented. And no question of influencing witnesses because almost 500 witnesses, their statements have been recorded. So basically, the onus now is on the Enforcement Directorate, the investigating agency, to explain if they have 493 witnesses, thousands of pages of charge sheet, what are they waiting for to begin the trial?
Well, I think there is an amount of non-cooperation from the people who are responsible also. It has been an allegation that Mr. Kejriwal is not cooperating by disclosing the data, including not giving password related with his mobile phone. Having said this precedent is not setting an example. What question we need to ask here is also, we are a party. If somebody is saying that they are a party against corruption, then the chief minister, the deputy chief minister, and all these people are in jail. So having said this, now what we have to definitely look at is that the ED and CBI, they will proceed and after recovery of further information in context to Mr. Kejriwal, because at one point of time, Supreme Court did say that where is the money trail? Yeah. And if the money trail is not with Mr. Manish Sisodia and Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, then where is the money trail? Then this particular point came that the money, the recipient of the money is Aam Aadmi Party. Yeah. Then the Supreme Court definitely asked, where is Aam Aadmi Party made as an accused? And therefore only Mr. Arvind Kejriwal was made and accused as a kingpin.
No, that's a great point that Mr. Mule has made. So that will also politically have an impact, Rashid Kidwai, that ultimately the kickbacks, allegedly, if it came back not to the individual accounts of Mr. Sisodia or Mr. Kejriwal. It came back to the Aam Aadmi Party for it to fight elections in Punjab, Goa, etc. Now, the question is, Rashid Kidwai, who is the head of the Aam Aadmi Party? It is Mr. Kejriwal. How can he wash away responsibility if this allegation is indeed true?
Yeah, Zaka, that is, these are in the realm of allegation. This is not being proved by court of law. The matter is sub judice. We cannot go by the, inspired leaks or the kind of comments that are being, made one observation by one court or another. I think the upshot is what today's Supreme Court has said about, the lower courts and various trial courts and high court, the kind of high-handedness that they display. And as a citizen, as a civilized society, we need to ponder over this, introspect, rather than do this BJP, Aam Aadmi Party, Congress, tutu mai. So this is a very serious matter, Zaka. It pertains to right to liberty, dignity, everything, and we should look beyond this. Why somebody was kept in jail for 17 months? 17 months again, I would say, the very, very long time. And a trial has not begun. And this is something we need to, not to say that on a technical ground, Mr. Sisodia has been given a bail. It can happen to anybody.
I absolutely agree with you. I think today's order by the Supreme Court is a wake-up call to lower courts and to high courts, which have been loath, in a sense, or at least certainly reluctant to grant bail, or at least to follow the dictum that bail has to be the norm and jail is the exception. Whether or not today's order will change that in the manner in which trial courts and high courts approach matters of corruption, which the opposition is alleging is politically motivated, that is something we'll have to wait and see. That could be a happy fallout of today's order. But politically, like I said, ultimately, whether or not this has an impact on the elections of Delhi 2025, that is something that we'll be keenly following here on CNN News 18.